All right, baseball fans, something a little bit different here this morning. I've been showing some APA football, APA hockey, and some APA baseball, but we're going to switch gears and go over to APA's main competitor, Stratomatic, to talk a little bit about Stratomatic, and we're going to finish up the last inning of the 1991 Dave Stewart replay, which is going on right at this very moment. And then we're going to take a look at the replay stats, see how that compares to actual. And as a surprise, I ran a replay of this same season with PC Replay Baseball, and we're going to see how PC Replay did with simulating 1991 Dave Stewart compared to Strat Basic. And since I don't not completed 1991 with APA, I did complete 1995 American League a couple years ago. So we're just gonna go back and look at see how Dave Stewart did in '95 with APA Master Game. So a lot of fun. This is all in good fun, not meant to compare or criticize different games, because I could honestly tell you I enjoy all three of these games. They're my three favorites, and so APA, Strat, and Replay. So just wanted to get a Strat replay under my belt. I've played several APA replays over the years, and I've never completed or done anything structured with Strat. All my Strat plays been like one-off games. And so we'll go over a little look at the collections of both games as well. So let's pick up the action here. We're at the Arlington Stadium in Texas. And with this replay, I'm doing paper and pencil, which I typically use ball stat or some kind of electronic scorekeeping, but for some reason I stuck with paper and pencil in this one. So right now the A's are crushing the Rangers at Arlington Stadium. It's the final start of Stewart's season. It's a Friday night, October 4th at Arlington Stadium. As you can see, the score is 8-0 A's. Terry Steinbach hit a 2-run home run in the first. Mike Bordick hit a home run off of Kevin Brown's card in the second. And you could see Stewart has been pitching pretty well here in his final start of the year, and we're right at the bottom of the sixth, and this will be the final inning of Stewart's 1991 replay. And then we're going to finish the game itself. So Stewart in 1991 went 11-11, 226 innings, 245 hits. Well, you guys could read it there. But that was actually Stewart's 1991 stats. You know, it's kind of ironic I'm using the Sacred APA Journal pitcher stat things for Strat replays. I always think that's funny, but when you kind of like interchange the game engine. So you can see we're at the last start. So coming in this game, Stewart was 11-18 with a 4.3 ERA. And his whip was right on there, but he was a little bit low in strikeouts as well as earned runs. So I'm thinking that's due to one of my friends, Mike, mentioned that was probably due to him getting lucky on some defensive roles there. So, or maybe with runners in scoring position, just getting out of jams, which probably is the case. So let's finish this game up. Let's see the A's can hold on here. And we are going to roll the last inning, and I'm just going to film that. So let's get it going. I'm being a little bit quiet here. It's early morning. I think my wife's still sleeping. Let's get this. So I'd like to get one of those cameras you guys all have to film our games, which I think I saw one at the Ollies up above my hill. So I might get one soon. All right. So we got bottom of the 6th here, and Ruben Sierra is up for the Oakland A's. We're going to play this pretty quickly. This is straight basic. So we got Ruben Sierra facing Dave Stewart in his final 226th inning of the season. That's a 6-6 roll off of Stewart's card, is a fly ball to right field. Jose Canseco with his 4 defense drips over and makes the play. Okay, 1 out. Juan Gonzalez, a young Juan Gonzalez, he had 27 home runs and 545 at-bats on the 1991 season. That's a 2-6, and that is a straight up, no doubt about it, 2-6 home run. Juan as in Juan Gonzalez. So let's see if that'll help the Rangers. That'll give the Rangers some kind of rallying cry here. Here in the 6th. So batting next, Kevin Reimer-Reason. He had 20 home runs and 394 at bats. He's projected about 30 home runs. This Rangers team has some offense. 4-8 off of Stewart's card. That's a rough column for Stewart. You can see his whole season, this 4 column is really rough on him. He, especially with the, he has his singles near that 7. 7 is the most likely result. So he was hitting a lot of 4-8, 4-9. You can see his 5 columns gives him trouble too, because if a player, no matter what they're weak or normal, if we're playing basic, if that player hits that 5-9 on his card, that's a really high likelihood of a home run. So that 4-8, 4-9, 4-5, 4-6, 5-9 is giving Stewart trouble all year. And if you look at his stats, he actually allowed the most earned runs in the American League in this season. So I'm not an A's fan, but I am a fan of this era of baseball, and I always liked the Bash brothers with Ricky Henderson and Dennis Eckersley and these teams. So they were always real dominant. But this is a down year for the A's, even though they had a winning record for their little stretch of seasons there. It was kind of a down year, but we're having fun here. So let's go back. So let's put the Juan Gonzalez home run in the books. We did that. Kevin Reimer-Reason's up. Okay. Kevin Reimer-Reason. 1-8 is a single. 1-18. That's a single. Okay, brings up Dean Palmer. Dean Palmer had 15 home runs and 268 at bats, so he's projected like 30 home runs. That's a 5-7. Ground ball X, that's a 10 on a Mike Gallego's a 2. So 10 on a 2 is an out 3, and that is a double play. So that goes Gallego to Bordick to McGuire. Stewart gets out of it. That's his final 226th, his final inning of the replay. So let's put his stats in here. So he's 226, 228, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits he allowed. So he finishes with allowing 236 hits. He allowed 1 earned run. 129, 106, 1 home run. The Gonzalez. In the game, he walked 1, finished with 117 walks, 3 strikeouts, versus 120 strikeouts. So we'll add him up. We'll see if he ends up getting the win here. So we'll do that analysis. Like I mentioned, let's just finish the game. So it's a 7th inning. And we have Wayne Rosenthal's pitching for the Rangers. We'll be going against Harold Baines. Baines, 3-5 is a single. 1-16, and that's a 10. Says a single Harold Baines. Okay, they are going to hold Harold Baines, so we have Terry Steinbach up. 3-9 is a single 1 star, so we have runners on first and second. So Baines down to second, Steinbach at first, bringing up Brooke Jacoby. I used to play a lot of face-to-face APBA when I was a kid, or when I was actually not a kid, I was only like 19, 20 years old. And at a kitchen table with one of my buddies, and my dad used to have zero interest in all this stuff. But he knew the 70s Pirates. We had Brooke Jacoby batting a lot because we were playing like 90s Indians or something. My dad would come in, he's like, Kent Jacoby. I'm like, no, Brooke Jacoby. He's kept thinking he was hearing Kent Jacoby. So, first and second, Brooke Jacoby. 2-10. Line out to third base. Mark McGuire. Bash Brothers, he's looking for his 1 column. He has a 110, 112 home run. It's a 4-7 off of Rosenthal's cards, a walk. So we got the bases loaded, 1 out for the A's. That'll bring up Mike Gallego. He's been pretty good in this replay. I have a little more respect for him. He had 12 home runs for a little guy, and he's got the 2 defense. So he's been like kind of a consistent, decent player for the A's here in this 1991 season. So Mike Gallego rolls a 2-8. That is a pop out to short. Rosenthal may get out of this. We have bases jammed full of A's on the road in Texas. 2 outs here in the 7th. Mike Bordick, who homered in the 3rd. 3-1 home run. Oh, and just another thing to show you. There's an issue with this in all the games, but I'm just going to show you here. App has the same trouble with that runner on third and getting a 6. You could see Mike Bordick had no home runs in the actual 91 season, but he hit a home run in this game. That was actually the 2nd home run he hit off of a pitcher's card. So one of the challenges with Strat Basic is you could get home runs for guys that didn't hit home runs. Now Strat corrects this by adding the power. See the power W there? Like that would have neutralized that home run off of that pitcher's card. So, nothing you guys didn't probably already know, but we will keep trucking here. So we got, let's see, Mike Bordick is up. Bases loaded, 2 outs. He rolls a 1-7, fly ball to left. Okay, that'll go to the bottom of the 7. No runs there, so he flies out to Kevin Reimer out in left. This will bring up Mike Stanley. So we got to put a new pitcher in. We're going to put in Jeff Chitrin. I think that's his name. Steve Chitrin for the A's. Okay, bottom of the 7th. The score is 8-1 A's. Texas 6-10 off of Chitrin's cards, a fly ball to center field X. Hendu, his gap teeth is out in the center. 6-10. 6-10, he's a 2. That's an out, so he catches the ball. Dave Henderson makes the play. Brings up Jose Hernandez. Strikeout machine for the... He's got 31 strikeouts and 98 at-bats. So if you project that out, that's about 190 strikeout season. So a lot of strikeouts in this guy. See, 5-7 is a ground ball second base X. Split number is a 9 on a Gallego's 2. 9 on the 2 makes the play. Gallego to McGuire, that's 2 down. Brings up Brian Downing. Brian Downing, 5-6. Fly ball to center field. That is 3 outs. Top of the 8th, we're going to have Ricky being Ricky. Ricky being Ricky. One nice thing I like about doing this replay is when you first buy Strat cards, let's give you an example. I got this 85 Royals here, for example. This was a newly purchased 85 Diamond Gems. You could see it's hard to, the cards stick together, you know, when you're trying to, you know, play games initially with them. You can see when I'm doing it, it's like I can't even get this Jim Sundberg card off of the top without going like that. See, but I can't. They stick together, which is drive you crazy with Strat. However, the good news is if you do conduct a replay with Stratomatic, eventually the cards get nice and loose. So you could see these A's have been played for 35 some games now, and every player, you know, it's just a little flick of the, which is something I enjoy now, because this is the first time I've done like a Strat replay. It's like I said, my first replay with Strat ever. And it's nice to see that, you know, these cards get nice and loose after a while. So let's go back to the game here. So Ricky Henderson leading off his MVP season. He has 18 home runs, 470 at bats. He's 2 for 4 in this game with a double. It's a 6-8 off of Rosenthal's card. That's a single 1 to 14 lineup. 15 to 20. The split's a 17, so it's a line out to short. So Jose Hernandez with the snag makes the play on Ricky. So Dave Henderson with his gap teeth, batting, smiling, 110, 5-3. Brings up Steroid Master, Jose Canseco. Awesome card. Got 44 home runs, 572 at bats, 2.8, 2.9, 210. I don't care what anybody says. I love this steroid era. I think it's a lot of fun. And I don't really care about them using steroids at all. So 6-7. 6-7 is a walk. Okay, that is Harold Baines is up next in the Hall of Fame. He probably did not use steroids, but still, he's been another steady player all year. So we have Jose Canseco at first. Harold Baines rolls a 4-3. That's a ground ball pitcher X. That's an 8. On a 1 pitcher makes the play. So Rosenthal over to Rafael Palmeiro makes the play. So go to the bottom of the 8th. It is, let's see, it is 8-1 A's. Rangers down their last 6 outs, so we're going to have Julio Franco leading off. We're going to keep Jeff Chitrin in the game. Julio Franco, 5-3. 5-3 is a ground ball pitcher X. That's a 3 on a 1. He makes the play. Steve Chitrin brings up Rafael Palmeiro, another steroid era master. 26 home runs, 631 at bats, 5-6, fly ball center field. In my opinion, should be in the Hall of Fame, but a lot of things, fans' opinions don't matter a lot of times. So Sierra, 3-7. 1-3 double, 1-3 triple, 4-20 double, and they rolled a 19. That's a 2-out double for Ruben Sierra. So Juan Gonzalez, who homers last at bat, guys saw that, as a 6-5, and that is a strikeout. Steve Chitrin. Okay, so Chitrin's going to come out there. We're going to bring Eck in for the 9th. Dennis Eckersley. So top of the 9th. We're going to take Rosenthal out. I'm going to put in, let's see what I'm going to put in here. I'm going to put someone I haven't seen all season here. Let's go with Terry Matthews for the Texas Rangers, former Cardinal. Okay, Terry Matthews coming in. He's going to face Steinbach, Jacoby, and McGuire. Okay, Terry Steinbach leading off top of the ninth. A's up 8-1. 4-8 is a double, straight up double off of Matthews' card. Steinbach down to second. Okay, Kent DeColby, Brooke Jacoby, 5-9 is a strikeout off of Matthews' card. Brings up Mark McGuire. Just playing this season, I kind of sensed LaRussa didn't really have a lot of respect for McGuire. I mean, he did bat 201 this year, but I noticed he would bat him way down the order. He wouldn't play sometimes, and I just got a sense that LaRussa McGuire was in kind of LaRussa's doghouse this whole season, so I just kind of sensed that. But in this game, this at bat 6-3 as a ground ball pitcher X. It's a 12 on a 1 pitcher, which will be a 1 base error. So Steinbach stops at third. So we have Steinbach at third, McGuire at first. McGuire's a 1-11 running. So note that. 1 out. Lego Gallego, first and third, 1-8 is a strikeout. Matthews gets the big out there, runner on third, so we're playing back, and we are not going to hold McGuire. 5-7 is a ground ball second base X. It's a 7. Second baseman's Franco's at 4. That's a 1 base error on Franco. Boots it, goes out to the outfield. McGuire takes second. Bordick takes first. That's the 9th A's run, so it's 9-1 A's here in the 9th. First and second, 2 outs. Ricky being Ricky. He's 2 for 5 on the day. 3-4 is a ground ball to third base B. Okay, so let's finish off this replay here. So we're going to have Kevin Reimer Reason, 1 for 3. 6-9 is a strikeout off of Eckersley's card. Alright, 2 outs. Texas down their last 2 outs with a Dean Palmer, 15 home runs, 268 bats. 210 is a ground ball shortstop, A++. It's a 6-3 ground out. That'll be Mike Bordick over to Mark McGuire. And last out, Texas Rangers down their last out, Mike Stanley at 249, 3 home runs, 181 at-bats. Rolls a 6-10. That is a strikeout as Eckersley blows the smoke out of his fake gun, points it at Stanley, and that ends the game. And your final, so Stewart will get the win. No save. Kevin Brown with the loss. So let's add it up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 2, 1. A's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 9 runs on 12 hits. The Rangers got 1 run on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. No errors for the A's. And 2 errors for the Rangers. Okay, here's your final on the game. So we got 9, 12, and 0 for the A's, 1, 7, 2. So A's are victorious. Dave Stewart gets the win. Let's put it in the book if I can figure out how to do this without looking like an earthquake. Let's go 11 or 12. 12 and 18. Okay, so finishes 12 and 18. And we already added everything up there. So let's pull out the comparisons here now, which is the reason for the video. I already prepared a little comparison chart. So let's put in the final stats here. So this is kind of like discombobulating. Okay, so in basic Strat, Stewart finished with 12 wins, 18 losses. Same amount of innings, 236 hits. Runs, 129. Earned runs, 106. Home runs allowed, 31. Walks, 117. Strikeouts, 120. Okay, his final ERA, let's see, 106 times 9 divided by 226. He finished up with a 4.22 ERA. His final whip in the replay was let's see, 236 plus 117. Okay, divided by 226. He finishes with a 156 whip. Okay. All right. So let's look at some numbers here. So I just want to give you guys a little origin how this project started. If you look at these dice, Strat cells right now, these dice came with the 1991 complete game I bought around Christmas time for, I bought the 90s Diamond Decades, and they're actually, one of my friends, Randy Corey, pointed out how low quality they were compared to like the dice Strat used to sell, which I agree, because I have a set of theirs I probably bought about 4 or 5 years ago. I was going to put them up for comparison. This set was bought probably about, I'd say about 3 or 4 years ago. So you could see these, the corners on these dice are a lot sharper. This 20 side's about the same. But then these dice, you could actually even tell like how light they are. So these are actually heavier, a little bit heavier than these dice. And it was pointed out that these unbalanced dice, these lighter dice, are biased towards a 4, 5, and 6, because like it would be biased towards the pitcher card, because you would get more likely results coming up with 4, 5, and 6 just due to the dice being unbalanced. So I ran a test of the dice, and it actually did confirm that a little bit. It was slightly skewed to 4, 5s, and 6s. Now, to the Dice's defense, when I did this, I ran 800 rolls with these new dice, and it did come up slightly skewed to the 4, 5, and 6. But the 1s and 6s almost came out exactly the percentage. I think it's like 16.2% or something like that, like the chances of one of those sides coming up. But the 1s came up the same exact amount as the 6s in that test. So it was kind of inconclusive right there, I would say. I mean, slightly favor to the 4, 5, and 6, but I didn't see, like I said, the 1s and the 6s came up the same exact amount of times in 800 rolls. All right, so that was the Genesis project. So I wanted to, and my friend Randy, he made me laugh totally out loud because he said, these dice look like something you would get like a McDonald's Happy Meal toy. And I thought that was just the funniest thing I've ever heard, because they were all light, and plus my kids are 12 and 18, so I've bought a lot of Happy Meals over my time. So that was a Genesis project. Plus I wanted to take a quick break from I mostly play APA projects, but I wanted to actually complete something with Stratomatic, and that's what we just did here just now. So let's put these dice aside and we'll look at some numbers. We'll put the Happy Meals aside and let's see how the Happy Meals did. And then we'll look at some stats here. Okay, so at the top row here we have the actual Dave Stewart 1991. So he's 11-11, he had 2 complete games, 226 innings, 245 hits, 135 runs, 130 earned runs, 24 home runs allowed, 105 walks, 144 strikeouts, ERA 5.18, WHIP 155. So using the Happy Meals dice for all 35 starts, Stewart finishes up with 12 and 18, 1 complete game, exact innings pitched. So 245 to 236, that is very good. I think that's less than 5% variance. And I think if you can get within 5% on these replays, you have a pretty decent, accurate replay. That's 96% variance, so that is really good. I mean, I really like that came in within the 5% variance. So 135 runs, 129 runs. That's another decent. The Happy Meals came in pretty good there too. That's 96%, 95.5, so that's within 5% variance also. That's also good. Now the earned runs, I think this was skewed a little bit because he may have gotten some more X chances on his off of Stewart's card. If you remember that we think that those Happy Meal dice are skewed towards a 4, 5, and 6, and on the pitcher's card you get those X chances. And the A's defense wasn't that good. There was a lot of 3s and 4s all over the place. But let's see the earned runs, see how that came out. 130, 82%. So see, that was kind of out of line. So 24 divided by 30 on the home runs. So he was a little high in the home runs. High in home runs. Walks, for the longest time in the beginning of this replay, his walks were way overperforming, or he was over his walk projection. So let's see how that came out finally. It came out about 90% variance. So that category wasn't that good. And you can see strikeouts weren't that good either. So but one thing, a couple of areas I'm really impressed with replay. Now, although his ERA came in like way off his actual, I could also attribute that to this earned runs difference, because if he had allowed, so looks like in real life he only allowed 5 unearned runs. You see that? That's a big difference. In this one he allowed 23 more earned runs. So in real life, there was only 5 unearned runs, and here's 23. So that's like the difference. That's the ERA difference there. So let's say, just for example, that he allowed 126 earned runs. Let's see what his ERA would have came out at. 126 divided by 226. 126 times 9 divided by 226. So you can see his ERA would have came in at like 5.02, which would have been a little bit closer to that 5.18. So you can see a lot of that might have been the defense involved, unless his card. Like I said, also blame a lot of like getting into X chance. Now, here's where the Happy Meals are going to redeem themselves. I am going to validate them as good enough dice just based on this replay, these 2 stats here. So, being these hits came in really close. And this whip, which is the walks plus hits divided by inning pitch, almost came in exact. I'm going to give these Happy Meal dice a thumbs up. Yeah, there are better dice. You may be able to get more balance, but for our purposes, and this is I'm going to give them a win here, the Happy Meal dice, with this 156. Now for fun, I have the 1991. I just want to show you guys this PC replay, because PC replay baseball, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're into PC gaming with these cards and dice, this game is the gold standard without a doubt. I just ran look at this stats package. I mean, you get rundowns, final game, you get player images, batting leaders, you get the stats. Everything is done for you. You have a schedule. I mean, you could look and see, look at even the little image, team logos on your schedule and all the wins, losses. I mean, PC replay baseball destroys a Stratomatic PC. Unfortunately, it does also destroy BBW insofar as everything. So, really enjoy PC replay baseball. Just they put some money into this, and it shows. I mean, it's really of all cards and dice simulations, PC replay baseball cannot be. It is the gold standard. So let's see how PC replay baseball. I just ran a 1991 replay right before I started this video on PC replay. It took me about 15 minutes to do. But here's how the Stewart stats came out with PC replay. No, this is not an advertisement for PC replay, but I just wanted to kind of show you how they came out. So just for fun. So PC replay came in a little bit short, and they got that complete games exactly. 247 to 245, so within 2 there. The runs came in, I say 138 to 135, so a little bit better there. Earned runs almost exactly within 2. Now PC replay's baseballs were 10 less than real life, whereas Strat's Happy Meals were 7 over. Walks were less, so they were actually off on walks by 26, whereas Strat was off by walks by 12 the other direction. So Happy Meal cards and dice replay, actually, as bad as this was, I mean, replay underdid his walks. You could see replay got his strikeouts a little bit better than Strat's. You could see the 151, so cards and dice, Happy Meal, basic Strat got the whip a little bit closer than PC replay, but PC replay got the ERA in line a little bit better too. So it's fun to look at. Now, just for fun, now one big gorilla in the room we haven't paid attention to is APBA. Now, APBA is my #1 game I normally play, and I don't have a 91 way to replay, simulate that. I don't know that on BBW. But I'm going to show you how he did in my 1995 replay. I finished this, I did the whole season. I'm sorry, the whole American League with this. And this is how it came out with APBA. Master game. This is all cards and dice APBA Master game. So this was this was Stewart's final season. It was a really bad season for him. He retired after the season. He was with Oakland still, or he had come back to Oakland for that season. So he was 8-8. You could see his numbers there. He was a 6.89 ERA with a 1.73 WHIP. So in the APBA cards and dice, he finished with 4-8. You could see 89, a little bit higher. Earned runs were fairly close. A little bit higher in the home runs. But look at the walk strikeouts look really good for APBA Master game. His finished with a 6.45 ERA versus 6.89. WHIP was 1.73 in real life, 1.76 in APBA. So just looking at all these, you know, the thing with replays and getting stats right, this is just fun to look at. You're not looking for exact. I mean, if you wanted to get like exact stats, you might as well just not even play the game. Just put the game on YouTube and watch it, honestly. So what you're looking for in these replays, this is what I'm looking for in doing this, is I want to kind of put myself in La Russa's manager's office during these replays. This is the goal that I have. I want to feel his pain. I want to see what he's doing, what his thought patterns are, what he's thinking, and I really got that out of this 1991 Dave Stewart replay, because you could see they were really struggling in getting offense and defense out of their third base position. They couldn't find the answer. They were started out with Ernie Riles. Carney Lansford was hurt, and they traded for Brooke Jacoby, and you could see them constantly looking for answers at the third base spot. For some reason, it felt like La Russa loved Jamie Quirk, even though he wasn't that good, and they also loved Lance Blankenship, who wasn't really that good in that season. So he kept playing them a lot, and it was kind of a fun little replay to do. So that was the 1991 Dave Stewart. And just to wrap this up, just kind of show you my Strat collection here real quick. So on cards and dice, I have 91, 2003, 16. I have Strat football. I have 97 All-Stars. I have 82. I have 2014, 64. I have all the Diamond Gems sets, 70s, 80s, 90s. Down there I got 2016, 2017, 2012. Replay baseball, which I really, really enjoy. Got a lot of seasons there. I got 84, Dead Ball Decades, 91, 51, 30. I was one of the replayers that wrote a write-up for the 1951 St. Louis Browns for Pete Ventura. It's actually in the book, which is kind of neat. So that's it. So I wanted to just start out to show you guys the 91 Dave Stewart and some numbers, and just having some fun this morning. So have a good weekend. It's a rainy weekend here in the East Coast, so hopefully you guys get a lot of gaming in, and hope to see some more of you guys' videos. All right, have a great morning. Bye-bye.